Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, Jay-Z Courtside, coming out to y'all today on Friday, February 27th. Almost messed that one up, but we just went an entire week without messing up a day, a date, or any part of the intro. So shout out me, shout out you for being here. Podcast listeners, you guys already know what to do. Be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. Apple, Spotify, I'm talking to you guys. Spotify, you guys in particular, thank you so much for all the 5-star reviews. It really means a lot. And Apple, you guys are slacking. That either means that there's barely anybody listening on Apple, or that means that, you guys are just slacking, plain and simple. Guys, today I got a really very, very fun episode for y'all today. We're going to be talking about the games that happened last night, and then we're going to be ending this podcast off. I know some of you guys always look forward to my Losers of the Week segments, where on Friday we talk about the teams that, in my opinion, underperformed in that week. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. Today's February 27th. There's only one more day in the month, and as you guys know, we don't go live on Sunday or Saturdays. So instead of Losers of the Week, I just figured let's do Losers of the Month. All right? So that's going to be the final segment of today's podcast, where we go over 3 losers. Actually, I think I did 4, a little bonus one, but they're not like really a loser because they're technically losers. I don't want to give it away. Guys, I do appreciate y'all very, very much for being here. Live crew, be sure to drop a like in the TikTok, follow on the TikTok, YouTube. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe, all that jazz. Twitch chat. Your guys' job is so freaking simple. Sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, an energy drink, whatever, and enjoy the show. Guys, up first, I want to talk about a game. Oh, by the way, stud of the night, we're definitely doing that. So I know you guys, I've been forgetting stud of the night until like the very last second of the podcast when I'm signing off. I remembered it today, so we've been doing it all week, and I won't be forgetting it. All right, stud of the night is going to be very, very, very interesting. A couple 40-point games last night as well to choose from. Guys, first up, I got to start with a game that everyone's talking about online right now. Twitter, TikTok, they're livid. And you guys know me. I really don't start these shows with big market teams. I really don't do that. I don't like doing that. I like giving credit where credit is due and talk about the smaller franchises. Today, I'm starting with a big market, and there's none bigger than the Los Angeles Lakers choking in Phoenix last night against a Phoenix Suns team without Devin Booker, without Dylan Brooks, without Jordan Goodwin. All 3 rotation players, 2 of their star players, arguably 2 all-star players, because Dylan Brooks was arguably an all-star. Shout out to the Phoenix Suns. They clawed this one from the dirt. They got 22 threes. They attempted 50 of them. You guys already know what Phoenix's basketball looks like. Even without Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks, all this team does is jack up threes and pray and defend. And guess what? Their defense was pretty solid last night, but none more solid than their offense. They were jacking up the threes. They shot 44% from 3, and I'd like to give a special, massive shout out to, honestly, my favorite player this season that isn't on my team, and that's Grayson Allen, man. He's been a meme in my community for a couple years now by one of my longtime viewers, and you know what? This year, it's the ascension of Grayson Allen. My Lord, off the bench, 28 points, 6 assists, a steal, a block. He was a minus 14, but that's fine. He shot 6 for 16 threes. I remember earlier in the year, he attempted 20 threes, his career high attempts against the Detroit Pistons, and he shot 9 for 24. So it really wasn't a great game for Grayson Allen, but he put the ball in the hoop, and that's what they needed last night. He led the game in scoring, led the Phoenix Suns for scoring. And, none other than Colin Gillespie. This guy's been, honestly, one of my favorite come-up stories of the year. Efficient night, 6 for 11 from deep, 7 for 13 from the field. He dropped 21 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. This is nothing new to Colin Gillespie. This is nothing new for Colin Gillespie. This is a sight to see, man. I love this player. He's so much fun to watch. I think when he was coming out of college, they compared his play style to TJ McConnell, which is just comedy because people have 3 archetypes as far as white boys go. They either choose Grayson Allen, who's dirty, I'm putting quotes on dirty. He hasn't done a dirty play in the NBA since like his rookie year. And then you have the Peyton Pritchard and TJ McConnell and Colin Gillespie, which is just so funny to me. It's just white guys that can score the ball. And I hate that they made that an archetype, but somehow, some way, with these three white guys that can put the ball in the hoop, they have just made their own NBA archetype in the NBA media. Colin Gillespie's a hooper. I don't care what archetype you put him in. He is a hooper regardless of what people say about him. He's so much fun to watch. Now, Royce O'Neal hit a big shot that ended up winning this game. Shot out Rolls Royce. He shot 4 for 7 from the field. Now, I can credit the Phoenix Suns all I want. They made a great comeback. It looked great. One thing I will say is Jalen Green. I just got to let y'all know, okay? We talked about this briefly earlier in the week. We did. And I want you guys to remember exactly what I talked about. I said, get ready, y'all, because we are nearing Mickey Mouse March. In case you guys are unsure what Mickey Mouse March is in the NBA, it's essentially when a role player decides to take that leap and look like a star to get a big contract. And that's what happens every single year. Without a doubt, you can look back in NBA history and look at the best players from every March, and it's always a player that ends up getting overpaid because of their play in March, okay? Now, just for an example, okay, that's Mickey Mouse March. And it's not just because they're fighting for a contract. A large portion of it, and please hear me out, like do not tune this reasoning out, because this is a great fact to share with your friends and family when they hear that, I don't know, Amir Coffey starts averaging 22 points in the month of March. That's probably not going to happen. Shout out Amir Coffey. But this happens every single year. And the main reason because of that is let's say the Pelicans, no offense to my Pelicans fans, the Pelicans are playing the Pistons, okay? Cade Cunningham sits out of the game. Jalen Duren sits out of the game. Isaiah Stewart sits out of the game. Asar sits out of the game because they're just resting. It's a night of a back-to-back, whatever they do. And then all of a sudden, Amir Coffey drops 30 points. All of a sudden, people are talking about Amir Coffey like that. So typically March, the reason why I call it Mickey Mouse March is just because usually when good teams play bad teams, the good teams are sitting their best players out. And it also helps if they're fighting for a contract as well. So that's Mickey Mouse March. You saw Josh Giddey do it for the last year, right? You saw it. Josh Giddey ended up getting a contract. Luckily for the Bulls, they didn't overpay him. You saw it with Jalen Green. Electric in the March. I want you guys to look at Jalen Green specifically. His stats in the last 2 Marches. I'm not exaggerating. Go look at last March in 2025 and go look at 2024 March as well. Jalen Green's average didn't just go up, it doubled. He went from averaging like 14.5 points to 28 points per game in March. And that's just what happens. It's March. It's Mickey Mouse March. We're getting there. I'm just warning y'all. Because all of a sudden, if Sadiq Bey starts averaging 32 points a game, do not fall for the gimmick. It happens. Let's talk about the Lakers side of things, okay? Boy, oh boy, y'all. You guys knew it was coming. You guys knew this shit was coming, bro. You knew it was coming. And that's no disrespect to Sadiq Bey. I'm a big fan of his. He was on my Pistons. He dropped 50 for the Pistons. That's no disrespect. But if he starts averaging 30 after averaging like 16 points per game, you know why. Speaking of Jalen Green, it's not March yet. He had 9 points, 4 for 15. He's still trying to get healthy. He shot 1 for 7. Jalen Green's been abysmal since he's come back from injury. I hope he gets better. Listen, it's March. It's March. Jalen Green's going to start averaging 25 points a game. I promise. It's March. This is the time of the scrubs. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers, bro. I'm going to come back to Luka Doncic lastly. Okay, let's talk about everybody else. First and foremost, on Twitter, it is a wildfire. TikTok chat, YouTube chat, Twitch chat, podcast listeners. I implore you guys to go check out Twitter whenever you're hearing me say this, whether you're in here live, go check Twitter. Go check Twitter. It is Bron stands and Luka stands just fighting over everything. No, it's LeBron's fault. No, it's Luka's fault. No, it's Austin Reeves' fault. What about DeAndre Ayton? It's all back and forth right now. LeBron stands versus Luka stands, and they are not getting along right now. In fact, I have one clip from this game to show you, and it's not even gameplay. It's just this one clip of Luka Doncic sitting on the bench. Like, I think he's sitting 7 chairs away from LeBron James. They are sitting 7 chairs away from each other. They are not united. They are not happy. They are not having fun. This is the most depressed I've seen Luka. This is the most depressed I've seen Reeves. This is the most depressed I've seen LeBron since Dwayne Wade was on the Cavaliers. I have not seen such poor morale on a basketball team. Honestly, do I want to say last year with the Phoenix Suns? I don't even know if I would want to go that far. And you know what's so crazy to me? I look at TikTok right now and I see a comment saying, bro, it is most definitely Ayton's fault. And that is probably a Luka fan or a LeBron fan. It's just embarrassing to me when people want to blame the 5th option on offense. This is not DeAndre Ayton's fault, man. This is not stop it. This is not DeAndre Ayton's fault. Is he one of the reasons? Yes, he is. LeBron James too. It's his fault as well. Luka Doncic? Absolutely. It's his fault too. Austin Reeves? Yep. It's his fault as well. It's all of their faults. It's also JJ Redick's fault. It's everyone on this team's fault. I don't care what anybody says. As well as DeAndre Ayton. You guys want to talk about DeAndre Ayton? Let's talk about DeAndre Ayton. The worst thing about him isn't even the stat line. He played 23 minutes, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal. He was a -24, which is a team low, and he shot 1 for 3 from the field. Let's talk about the worst part about DeAndre Ayton. It's not his play style. It's not what he lacks. It's his energy. This guy's a baby. This guy is an actual baby. Like a baby. In case you don't know, a quote came out of DeAndre Ayton saying, I'm not no Clint Capella. They're playing me like I'm Clint Capella. I don't know about y'all, but I remember Clint Capella back in the Rockets way back when. Not Rockets now. I'm talking about Rockets then with James Harden, Chris Paul, and Clint Capella. Clint Capella was a beast. Offensive glass, rebound, defensive glass. He did what he wanted. He rim ran. He did everything. Blocked shots. And then Clint Capella posted on his story a picture of DeAndre Ayton's quotes saying, you got 2 of the best floor generals in the game, my dog. Lock in. He said that. Now, shout out Clint Capella for that response. But that's the real thing. That quote is 100% real. I know it was so funny. You guys probably thought it was fake. Here's my issue. And that's the top comment of the day. Ladies and gents, that I just saw on the TikTok. That is the top comment of the day. Emilio, I love this comment out of you. He said, remember when Laker fans thought Luka was going to unlock Ayton's potential? And you know why that hasn't happened? Because Luka doesn't do that. You're asking Luka to do different things. Listen, I'm dropping a Luka Doncic documentary tomorrow on my YouTube channel, Jay-Z Uncut. It's a 38-minute video explaining what is going on with Luka Doncic, why the discourse around him has changed. Luka Doncic doesn't unlock players. Luka Doncic is arguably one of the greatest shot creators in NBA history. Arguably one of the greatest shot creators. Luka Doncic is not Chris Paul. You guys need to give credit to Chris Paul, even more credit than you already do, for making DeAndre Ayton look like a competent center. Because DeAndre Ayton, he looked like a #1 pick. I remember. Hopefully you remember. Shout out to Chris Paul for doing what he did with DeAndre Ayton, averaging the numbers that he was averaging. 17.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, a steal, a block, shooting 63% from the field and 37% from 3. That was DeAndre Ayton. That was DeAndre Ayton with Chris Paul. So when I tell you guys, Luka was supposed to unlock DeAndre. No, that was never supposed to happen. They got the wrong center for the job. And I told everybody at the start of the season, Luka can only play well with rim runners. That's it. He needs rim runners and defenders. Now, I don't want to talk about Luka just yet. DeAndre Ayton, he's just the wrong player for this team. And it's unfortunate because he's probably going to get booted out of the NBA here pretty soon. Because of Luka, because of LeBron. This is not his role. This wasn't supposed to be his role. And in fact, if you're asking me what his role is, I don't know. You're going to have to give me like some time after this podcast to truly believe where you can find his role. Okay. And people are telling me, I hope you know he's going to be traded. you can't trade him. The trade deadline's over. So maybe later in the summer when the season's over for sure. But then you have to convince a team to trade with him. So this is the issue with DeAndre Ayton. He's just not right for the job. He's not right for the job. Luka can unlock athletic bigs. I've been preaching that since the beginning of the season. Luka had Daniel Gafford, a shot-blocking athletic rim runner. Luka Doncic had Derek Lively, a shot-blocking athletic rim runner. For Luka to succeed, you need to build around Luka Doncic. They are already 2 years into wasting Luka's prime. Luka's not going to be playing when he's 41. They are wasting Luka's prime as we speak. And this is what's happening. You needed a rim runner. Now, see, this is the issue. And this is the major issue that I had with the Dallas Mavericks doing this trade, okay? It's because they spent all those years building a perfect team around Luka Doncic. A perfect team. Kyrie was there to take the ball away from Luka. That's great. You had Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, who protected Luka's mistakes. You had PJ Washington fixing Luka's mistakes. You went and got Najee Marshall to fix Luka's mistakes. You went and made this team defensive heavy. The only thing they lacked was three-point shooting. They were covering for Luka. They made it to the finals. But then what happened in the 2024 finals? Luka got exposed. Now, that's something that happened all night long. So I will not be here to say it's Luka's fault, it's LeBron's fault, it's DeAndre's fault, it's Austin Reeves' fault. I watched this game, and they were picking on Luka Doncic all game, the entire game. Go watch the game back. NBA post highlights. This is just a couple clips that I found of them just hunting Luka Doncic all game. All game. He's so bad at defense. That Jimmy High Roller video calling him an average defender has done irreversible damage to the Luka stands. Just watch this clip. He gets screened, and he doesn't even bother. He's flopping on the screen because he knows he's not going to defend him. Bro, this clip is not slow motion. This is actually how slow Luka is moving. This is how slow Luka is moving. That clip isn't good enough? Let's go look at this clip. Here's Luka again at the perimeter. For my podcast listeners, he just gets screens and then gives up on the play. That's it, over and over and over again. And this is what happens when Luka Doncic just unfortunately, he doesn't have people to cover for him. Here's Luka at the three. Bro, why are you jumping at a 35-foot away pump fake from Colin Gillespie? Colin Gillespie he couldn't stay in front of Grayson Allen. He couldn't stay in front of Colin Gillespie. This is Luka's fault, not the loss. He had 41 points. But these plays getting killed in clutch time. There's 2 minutes left in this game. There's 2 minutes left in this game. And you're jumping at that? Luka Doncic was getting killed all night last night. They were targeting him all game. All game. That's Luka's fault. We never doubted Luka's offensive ability. Luka shot 50% from the field. He scored 41 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals. He was a +9 on the court. LeBron was a +5 on the court. He shot damn near almost 50% as well. 15.6 rebounds, 5 assists. You want to get on LeBron about his bad defense? You got to treat the same way with Luka. You want to get about Austin Reeves? None of the starting lineup plays defense. None of them. None of them. Marcus Smart's the only one, and Marcus Smart is washed, bro. Like, I've already given credit where credit is due to the Phoenix Suns, but this is just what happens, man. This is just what happens. I'm being told by TikTok that LeBron plays defense. Oh, no, man. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. TikTok, if you guys are enjoying today's show, I do this Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. I implore you guys to come to the Twitch stream. The link is in my bio. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. You would enjoy the Twitch stream so much more, guys. The link is in my bio. I'd love for you guys to come to the Twitch. Now, this is a bigger matter than it's LeBron's fault or Luka's fault. This is a team's fault. This is the coach. This is the player. This is the what's it called? The GM. This is everything. It took them how many years? 5 years, 6 years to build a perfect team around Luka. The Lakers are 2 years into it, and they haven't even started building around Luka yet. You have a problem. If it took the Mavs 6 years to build around Luka, that means the Lakers haven't even started building around Luka yet. And it took the Mavericks 6 years. Guys, in 6 years, Luka's going to be 33. Do you all really think that Luka's body is built to be performing at 33? Right now, no. Right now, absolutely not. This is not the team that Luka needs. Austin Reeves, honestly, I have not been on Austin Reeves nearly enough. It was just a month ago where TikTok chat was telling me that Austin Reeves is undisputed the best undrafted player in NBA history without having proven anything. He had a good November. And I was told that he's the greatest undrafted player in NBA history. When Ben Wallace exists. When Ben Wallace, the only undrafted player in NBA history, made it to the Hall of Fame. The only undrafted player in the Hall of Fame. And I was being told that Austin Reeves, because he was scoring in November, was a better undrafted player. Unbelievable. And Austin Reeves' defense is piss poor as well. I love that final play that JJ Redick drew up. But Austin Reeves missed the game-tying shot. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I mean, this is not the team that you need around Luka Doncic. This is not the team you need around Luka. Twitch chat, my boy Jacob in there is asking, what do you think the Lakers will build around LeBron after Luka and Reeves retire? Wait, who do you think the Lakers will build around LeBron after Luka and Reeves? I think you meant the other way around. I think you meant after LeBron retires. Who do you think they'll build around? I mean, they're going to try to build around Luka, but they're already 2 years behind. So this is the unfortunate thing. And, you know, I've been telling y'all, this is a big game as well. So for like those of you who are telling me, it's just a game in Feb. No, this is a big game. This is a big game because the Phoenix Suns are right behind them in the standings. The Phoenix Suns are now only 1 game behind the Lakers, and the Suns are missing Booker. The Suns are missing Brooks. The team is missing everybody. Listen, man, the Lakers are a bad team. They're not a good basketball team. And I've been trying to tell everybody that they got lucky that their schedule was a cakewalk for October, November, and December, because they are the best, worst team in the NBA. The best, worst team in the NBA. They have the 5th worst defense in the entire league. The 5th worst defense in the entire league. I've been saying it the entire season. They walked into a good record and everybody thought that they were good. And I called it right when it was happening. Look at their opponents and look at their defensive prowess. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. This team gets swept by almost everybody in the playoffs. Like right now, they are the 6th seed. They would play the, who would they play? The Rockets? Yeah, I mean, they're not getting swept, but they're not competing. And then who else? The Thunder, they're getting swept. The Spurs, they're getting swept. The Nuggets, they're getting swept. The Timberwolves, they got swept last year. They're going to get swept again. They can't beat any of these teams. They can't. They can't. They got lucky with a good record of a good record in the start of the season, and now this is unfortunately what's happening. I'm being told that Spurs not sweeping the Lakers. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. DeAndre Ayton was going to lock up Wembanyama. My apologies. Yeah, my apologies. You're right. Stephen Castle forcing Luka Doncic to shoot 22% from the field. Yeah, they're not gonna. You're right. You're right. Sorry, the Lakers. I got Lakers in a sweep against the San Antonio Spurs. Y'all heard it here first, Spurs fans. Listen, man, I'm done talking about this team. I hope I don't talk about them for a while. TikTok is saying Hornets are coming out of the East, and that's going to. Man, TikTok, y'all amaze me, bro. TikTok, if you guys are enjoying today's stream, you would enjoy the Twitch stream so much more. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Please come through. It's a much better viewing experience over here, guys. The link is in my bio. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Come to the Twitch. I'll give you a shout out. Join my community. I'd love to have you guys. Let's move on to our next game. And honestly, it was a very entertaining game. Sorry by Magic fans in advance. The Houston Rockets come back down 19 to beat the Orlando Magic in Disney World. In Disney. Listen, man. I turned the game off when the Rockets were down 19. And I said, this offense is horrible. And then the Rockets started turning up. Reed Shepherd started turning up. They actually started using Reed Shepherd. Thankfully, Ime Udoka, you're learning how to coach this team one day at a time. He benched Amen Thompson because they had no offense. They were playing in a zone, and that's what was happening. They benched the men. Honestly, it looked like it was JB Bickerstaff out there coaching this team. Reed Shepherd sprinted off the bench, dropped 20 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks for Reed Shepherd. The smallest guy in the court went 5 for 7 from deep and 7 for 11 from the field. Reed Shepherd did his thing, and they ran him, man. It was awesome. Obviously, Kevin Durant dropped 40 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, shot 50% from the field, but only 2 for 10 from deep. It was not falling last night. Jabari Smith Jr. went down late with an ankle sprain. I hope he's okay. I don't think it's come out what the news was. And then Alperen Şengün again with another average, mediocre game that he's been having all season with a 16 point, 6 rebound, 5 assist game, shooting 8 for 15 from the field. Pretty efficient. Josh Okogie hit 2 large threes at the end of this game, so shout out to him as well. Now, during the 21-0 run. Shout out to my boy Wizard. Thank you so much, Wizard, for coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you a lot. Shout out to everybody that's leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. It's a much better viewing experience over here, guys. I'd love to have y'all join up. Be sure to join the Discord as well, Wizard. Exclamation point Discord in the chat. Let's talk about the Orlando Magic, man. Honestly, this is like one of the games where neither team really had a great game, so let's just talk about the loser because there's more of a storyline. The Orlando Magic had 15 threes, and they attempted 37. And now they are one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the NBA. They should never be attempting 37 threes in a night, but they hit 15 of them, and they shot 40%. So on a night like that, go for it. They were feeling themselves in the first half. But in the second half, when they choked that lead, everybody the only player that's exempted to be talked negatively about on this basketball team is Desmond Bane. Straight up. Desmond Bane was hooping. He was hooping. He was winning them this game. The Rockets came back, and the only guy scoring, the only guy that was getting you buckets on the Magic side is Desmond Bane. 30 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, plus 9 on the court. And that's not even the most cool part about this. Desmond Bane, before garbage time, was 12 for 17, and he ended up being 12 and 19. He shot 6 for 10 from deep. Now, I'd like to speak about why the Orlando Magic lost this game, to be honest. I'd like to talk about why they lost this game. They brought Paolo Banchero in the game, and they lost. That's it. They lost. Paolo came in, and they lost the game. Now, they had already choked the majority of this lead, but they lost this game because of Paolo Banchero. Here's the thing about beating the Los Angeles Lakers, ladies and gentlemen. When you play against the Los Angeles Lakers, their defense is so bad that they make you overly confident in your basketball ability. And that's what always happens. The Lakers are so bad defensively that they make you think that you're better than you are. Now, I know Magic fans will tell me Jalen Suggs lost you the game. Listen, Jalen Suggs was not good. He had 4 turnovers. He shot 1 for 6, and he had 3 points. Jalen Suggs was bad. I am telling you right now, he's bad. But they lost this game because of Paolo Banchero. When Paolo came into the game late in the fourth quarter, Desmond Bane had scored 12 or 14 points straight for the Orlando Magic. And then Paolo came in and killed any flow of the offense. Killed any little flow they had in the offense. They had a legacy game from Javon Carter. He's not going to have another good game like that for weeks. He went 5 for 10 from the field, hit 4 threes. He hit some unbelievable shots last night. Paolo Banchero came into the game and slowed the game down way too much. Bro, Desmond Bane was getting bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket. And then Paolo comes in, posts up, gets a nice little layup, and then over and over and over again, Paolo just holds the ball for almost the entire shot clock and ices out Desmond Bane. He just completely iced Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane didn't touch the ball again until garbage time, when they were just jacking up threes to try to stay into the game. Desmond Bane was going crazy. He could not miss. An absolute flamethrower. But Paolo Banchero wanted to just keep getting the ball and slow down the half-court offense. Paolo had 19 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. He was a -7. And he shot 6 for 16 from the field, 0 for 2 from deep. And without those free throws, this is a horrible game. He would have had 12 points. So I just need to say again, Paolo, what are we doing, man? That last 3 that he took as well sealed the deal for me. They were trying to claw back in it, and then he just pulls up for 3 and hits the backboard. Came into the game, iced out Desmond Bane, and they lost. Now, I do want to talk about Anthony Black a little. The most improved hype has completely fallen off of a cliff. He's not playing well lately. Anthony Black really isn't playing that well. He shot 3 for 12 last night, 8 points. He was a -7 on the court. Tristan da Silva as well did not have a good game. They missed Franz a lot. He shot 2 for 8. And then, yeah, man, Jalen Suggs was just absolutely horrendous. This loss was sad. Honestly, I don't know which Florida loss was worse. The Magic was worse. The Magic was worse. This was supposed to be the win. This was supposed to be the win, and instead they choked a 19-point lead against the Houston Rockets. Now, just to speak on the Rockets a little bit more, their offense is like laughable. It's laughable. Their offense is just so below mediocre. It's embarrassing. That entire fourth quarter, I was talking about it in the Discord with my boys in there, with my Twitch chat. I was talking about it in the Discord. It is just KD, save us. That's it. That's their entire offensive game plan in the fourth quarter. KD, save us. Every single play, it was just KD, save us. Now, TikTok said 37 and 21 is not laughable. No. It is. It is, because they are relying on a 37-year-old Kevin Durant to save them. He had 40 points in 40 minutes last night. Kevin Durant can't take any time off. It was supposed to be Kevin Durant gets rest and Şengün carries. No, that's not what happens. It was supposed to be, I'm number 2. Kevin Durant was supposed to be number 2, and Şengün was supposed to be number 1. It's not that either. It's not that either. In fact, it's so far away from that. Ryan, one of my Rockets fans in the Twitch stream, just came into the stream and said, I hate Alperen Şengün. He is the cancer to my team. That is a Rockets fan, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Durant was never supposed to play superhero. Kevin Durant was never supposed to be a number 1. In fact, Kevin Durant has never won anything. That's a lie. That's a lie. He was the best player on the Warriors. I'm lying. Sorry. Obviously, he had Curry's gravity, but he was the number 1 on that team. He just, you know the point I'm getting at. Fred VanVleet is very much needed for this team, but I question how far would that even take them. And you know what? The Houston Rockets knew they weren't going to win this year, and and all they needed was to get a playmaker. All they needed was like a Kobe White. That's all they needed to at least convince yourself that you can compete. And yet they didn't get a ball handler. They didn't get a playmaker. They didn't get any of that. And now they're playing KD save us offense, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. This is like, I've watched a lot of Rockets games this year. A lot. I'd say out of their 50-some games, I've watched at least 40. All they needed was a ball handling, shot creating PG. I'm not asking for a whole lot. That's all I needed, though. That's all I needed. And they didn't get it. Yeah, they lost. The Magic lost. And that's because their offense looked worse than the Rockets' offense down the line. They came back from 19 down. Shout out the Rockets. Man, they're able to just sneak these wins in because of Kevin Durant. And like, Reed Shepherd obviously came off the bench when they benched him in, and he played unbelievable. 20.7 for 11. Like, I already gave him his shout out. He played unbelievable. But at the end of the day, it was Kevin Durant save us. And it worked yet again. And that's why they have a decent record. It's because Kevin Durant offense is pretty good in the regular season. But if you're relying on a 37-year-old Kevin Durant to just carry you into the playoffs, that's not going to work. It sucks. It sucks, man. It really, really, really sucks. And you know, like, I don't want to add more salt into the wound of Magic fans. I know Desmond Bane's incredible. He's been the best player on the Magic this year. You can argue with a wall. Desmond Bane has been the best player on the Magic this year. That wasn't supposed to happen. He was supposed to be the third best. That's a problem. Paolo Banchero hasn't improved. Franz Wagner hasn't. He's just hurt. Paolo's hurt. Suggs is hurt. It's just, this is the team, man. This is the team. The Magic were supposed to be the 3rd seed. That's where they had him at. And I said in the beginning of the season, they are crazy for putting the Magic above the Pistons. They are crazy for putting the Atlanta Hawks over the Pistons. Like, this is crazy. And I said, there's no way that's happening. And look, it hasn't happened. It doesn't matter about health. They should be able to do it. They have Desmond Bane, who they traded 5 picks for, and they have Paolo Banchero. When they didn't have Paolo, they had Franz Wagner. It's not. The Magic can go and win a tough game. They can go and win a tough game. They can play well in the playoffs. I'm excited for that. But this is just a full-on underperforming year, and it's disappointing. All right, guys, let's talk about my other takeaways from other games. Okay. Let's talk about my other takeaways from other games. One game that I watched extensively was the Miami Heat versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, they both dropped. It was just a 3-point shootout, man. They both attempted over 43s. They both hit 17 threes. And what it came down to was who can finish better in the fourth quarter. And it was the Philadelphia 76ers. The Magic were down by, I believe, 16. They were down by 16. And yet the Miami Heat did their signature. They did their signature move, the fake comeback. They always do that fake comeback. Heat fans, you can attest to that. They did their fake comeback, and it was fake. That's what it was. Bam Adebayo disappeared in the fourth quarter. He had 29 points, 14 rebounds. Great game from Bam. Efficient game from Bam. Disappeared in the fourth. Tyler Hero, great game. 25 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. 9 for 18 from the field. Disappeared in the fourth. Jaime Jaquez, believe it or not, was their best fourth quarter player. Norman Powell obviously had that groin strain, so that's going to be scary. And yeah, that was the game. That's all they had. That's all they had. Khalil Ware, only 12 minutes. 2 for 7 from the field. Now, I'd like to talk about the 76ers, okay? Kelly Oubre legacy game, 21 points, 8 for 13 from the field. That honestly won them the game because Joel Embiid did not have an efficient night. He had 26 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and he hit the game ceiling 3. He also got his rib hurt. So we'll see if that bothers Joel Embiid later on. VJ Edgecombe was my player of the game from this. He had 19 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 8 for 13 from the field. Crazy efficient night. The only shots he missed were his threes. And then Tyrese Maxey. Horrible Tyrese Maxey night. Awful. But it doesn't matter. He got the win. 28 points, 11 assists, 4 rebounds, 5 steals, and the game-winning assist. The game-winning assist. Tyrese Maxey, 9 for 26. Not a good game from Tyrese Maxey, and that's okay. Everybody else carried your weight. That's more than fine. I'm being told that he played great yesterday. I don't consider below 50% true shooting and 9 for 26 from the field great, but he won the game, and that's what matters. He had 11 assists, and that proves that Tyrese Maxey doesn't need to be just a scorer because he set everybody else up, and that's what matters when you win the game. But yeah, they won this game because the role players played better. Dominic Barlow was 4 for 4. Kelly Oubre was 8 for 13. Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, they were obviously the focal point of the offense, but they were being defended like crazy. So that's what happens. But yeah, ultimately what I saw down in the fourth quarter was the 76ers just hunting Tyler Hero in switches. So Tyler Hero got you that 25 points off the bench, but Tyler Hero also was giving up bucket after 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 bucket in the fourth quarter. They were hunting for him. Every time they needed a bucket, they just hunted for Tyler Hero because he can't defend. Can't defend at all. So yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. Okay. And that's, yeah, the Heat did their classic Heat thing. Fake comeback. Now, let's go to the Minnesota Clippers game real quick. Minnesota and the Los Angeles Clippers both had horrible shooting nights from deep. 5 for 22 from the Clippers, 8 for 26 from the Timberwolves. The Clippers were without Kawhi Leonard, John Collins, Darius Garland. And yeah, this game, honestly, I don't really have any other notes other than Anthony Edwards hitting the shot that clutched the game. He shot 12 for 24, 31 points, and he looked back and screamed at Chris Finch, like, this is what I do. This is what I do. It was a very ugly game. Very ugly game. I'm very disappointed in how the Timberwolves are playing this year, but they got the win, and that's what matters, and that's all that matters at the end. Because like a month from now, we're not going to remember that this was an ugly game. We're just going to remember that they won this game. It was ugly. It was really, really ugly. Julius Randle, 1 for 10. Wow. Yeah, that's Bones Highland, 1 for 5. That's an average Bones game. It's either he turns up or he turns down, and that's what you get. I love what I'm seeing from Ayo. He's been a great help off the bench, and they are using him like a spark plug. But yeah, Timberwolves ended up winning this game. I really don't have any other notes. And then as far as the other games, I know I'm not going to talk about every single game. So my apologies for Wizards fans out there and Hawks fans. I'm not talking about them. I'm sorry. Shout out the Hawks for that win though. But Pelicans, shout out the New Orleans Pelicans. They attempted 34 threes. They're taking way more threes recently than they have been. Sadiq Bey, man. Sadiq Bey, 42 points off the just 42 points in 34 minutes. efficient, 14 for 20. 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Unbelievable, man. Zion, 20 points, 9 for 15. He also had 4 steals, 4 assists. DeJounte Murray had a great game. God, dude, I love watching DeJounte Murray, man. I love watching DeJounte Murray, bro. 17 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds, plus 16 on the court, 5 for 12 from the field. And then Jeremiah Fears, inefficient game. Derek Queen, only 20 minutes. I hate what they're doing to Derek Queen, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Jordan Poole made sure to come in and miss a few shots. That's what he does. Yeah, I mean, obviously it was clear that the Jazz are, tanking. They were without Nurkic, Markkanen, Jaren Jackson. They didn't even play Mo Bamba, who they just signed on a 10-day. That's crazy. And Walker Kessler. So shout out the Pelicans, man. They're not 18 and 42 bad, but they definitely are like 20 and 42 bad. So hopefully they can get another 2 wins, and then we can say that. Shout out to DeJounte Murray, man. Shout out to Sadiq Bey. I love Sadiq Bey. I love DeJounte Murray. Yeah, man. The Pelicans are, they're winning games. They're not going to push him for the play-in, but they're going to win. Okay, I'm just warning everybody right now, okay? I'm not going to repeat myself again. I talked about it earlier, okay? But remember, Mickey Mouse March. If any team is going to have a Mickey Mouse March, it's New Orleans, okay? So please, when the Pelicans win 5 games straight and Trey Murphy's averaging 27 points a game, please, I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it, okay? They're going to win some games in March. A couple of the players are going to be averaging efficient 20-plus nights, but it's Mickey Mouse March, okay? I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it. Before we move to our final segment, TikTok, I'm going to end that stream real quick. I know that's disappointing because the show's not done yet. If you guys want to watch the remainder of this show, we are live on Twitch, the Purple app. Look up Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch or press the link in my bio, okay? We're still live. The show is still rolling. Okay, guys, let's move on to that's all my takeaways that I have from last night's games. That's all the takeaways I got, okay? Now, I want to move on to our, I guess, one of our final segments of today's show, and it is the losers of February, okay? The losers of February. We usually do losers of the week, but I want to do the losers of February. Now that the month is done, or wraps up tomorrow, I sort of want to go over the teams. And now, of course, you guys are probably thinking like the Kings, the Bulls. Listen, I got to talk about teams that have aspirations. No Kawhi. I don't want to talk about the teams that we know are intentionally having a bad month. Okay. I want to talk about the teams that have expectations. I want to talk about the teams that are underperforming. I want to talk about the teams that are not playing to their standards. Okay. Now, I did consider a lot of teams. Okay. I considered the Magic, right? They are losers of February. I considered the Miami Heat. They are losers of February. They're just playing record constantly. I think they were 5-5 when I checked. I was going to pick those teams, but I needed to pick teams that people were trying to tell me are contenders and one who I believe is a contender. Okay. Let's start with my first loser of February, and that's the Denver Nuggets. I think this is pretty obvious for everybody. In the month of February, there are 4-6 and bad losses. And you can't tell me they didn't have Jokic because they have had Jokic. In fact, Jokic came back on February 3rd. So they had Jokic. Actually, no, they had him February 1st. He came back on February 1st. So they had Jokic this entire month. And these are the losses, okay? They lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They lost to the Detroit Pistons. They lost to the New York Knicks. They beat the Bulls. They lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies. They lost to the Clippers. They beat the Trailblazers. They lost to the Warriors without Curry. And then they beat the Celtics on their last game of that road trip, the Celtics' last game of the road trip, on the second night of a back-to-back. I'm sure you guys are noticing that they didn't really beat good teams other than the Celtics right there. That entire month of February, the best team they beat was the Celtics on the second night of a back-to-back at home. This was a bad month for the Denver Nuggets. And you know what? It could only get worse at the start of March. Their remaining schedule for February, they play the Thunder tonight. Okay. Then on the 1st, they play the Timberwolves. Then the Jazz, easy game. But that's on a back-to-back. And then they play the Lakers. And then they play the Knicks. Yes, Jaylen Brown was playing that game, and he sat out the night before. So he was like the only one that wasn't on the second night of a back-to-back against the Denver Nuggets. I hear that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not on the injury report tonight. So the Denver Nuggets will be versing Shai and possibly Chet. I'm assuming Chet as well because he's had a couple days now to rest. Yeah, man, the Denver Nuggets have been very disappointing. They've been very, very, very disappointing. And what's crazy is they're the number one offense in the NBA right now. Number one. They're scoring the most points out of any team in the NBA. They're 9th in assists. They're 7th in field goals made. They're 2nd in field goal percentage. They are 1st in 3-point percentage, y'all. They're averaging over 39% from deep, bro. 39. We have one player on the Pistons that's shooting that percentage. Their whole team is averaging that percentage. Unfortunately for them, they're 21st in rebounding. They're 29th in steals. They're 27th in blocks. And they're 26th in field goals attempted. Unfortunately for them, their defense is not great. In fact, their defense is abysmal. Their defense is not good at all. Their defense looked good against the Boston Celtics, but again, tired legs, second night of a back-to-back. That's what happens. Their defense has not looked good this month at all, and that's been their main culprit as to why they have not been playing well. So I'm assuming that's only bolstering up Peyton Watson's contract. I didn't know Aaron Gordon was that important to their defensive scheme. I knew he was important to the offensive scheme. But this just goes to show you how important both of them are, Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson. I've seen it time and time again. Offense alone is not going to win you an NBA championship. They were my pick going into the season, and now they have fallen to the 4th seed in the West, and they are half a game away from getting passed up by the Timberwolves as well, who is not looking good. All I'm saying is, we all know how important Aaron Gordon is to their offense. I just didn't know he was that important to their defense in 2026. I knew he was important during their championship run. I just didn't know his defense was that important still now. But again, Peyton Watson, he's their defensive anchor. He is their defensive anchor. And without him, this team has looked abysmal defensively. So that's why I have the Denver Nuggets as my number one loser of February. Let's move on to my second loser of February. Now, again, these are teams that had expectations. Again, you know what? Before I move on, I just do have to highlight again on Nikola Jokic. He was horrible this month. He was horrible this month. He was awful. His percentages here, I'll even show you. Jokic last 10 games. I meant to mention this. In his 10 games in February, Nikola Jokic is averaging 26 points per game. He's shooting 48% from the field and 33% from the three-point land. Yeah, it has not been good. It has not been good. And as the leader of that team, that's not good enough. That's not good enough at all. Oh yeah, the turnovers have been excruciating as well. Nikola Jokic right now is averaging 4.5 turnovers this month. 4.5. Yes, these are the 10 games after his injury. This is the month of February. He's averaging 4.5 turnovers. So that's a lot. 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 That's not going to get it done. Obviously, this is after he got injured. But like I said, the Denver Nuggets were playing. They're not better without Jokic. We all know that. But they had a better record without Jokic than they do with Jokic now that he's back. And that's bad. That's bad. And, of course, his defense is horrible as well. Okay, let's move on to my second loser of February. Now, remember, guys, these are teams that had championship aspirations. Okay? These are teams that people had high hopes for. Not me. I had high hopes for the Denver Nuggets. I had high hopes, and I still do. Again, I could have picked a lot of teams. A lot of teams. My second loser of February is the Los Angeles Lakers, who went 5-6. They went 5-6 over the month of February. And it's not just their losses that make this look bad. It's their wins too, man. They beat the Clippers by 3, barely. They beat the Dallas Mavericks, who doesn't beat the Dallas Mavericks. And then they beat the Golden State Warriors without Curry. And then they beat the Philadelphia 76ers without Embiid. And then they beat the Brooklyn Nets. And then, yeah, that's it. So they were 5-6. It's not that bad, right? It's not that bad, but in a time where they need wins, that's bad. And the main reason being is because of how hard the Los Angeles Lakers schedule gets for the rest of the season. I've been preaching it that the NBA writes their schedule in accordance to the NFL ending. Okay. So the reason why this is bad is because they needed to win out this month. They needed a lot of wins. They needed a lot. Let me show you their next games and tell you why they needed wins. Okay. The remaining schedule is as follows. Now, Golden State without Curry, we're not worried about that. Sacramento, their ass. New Orleans Pelicans, I'm not going to say it, but you already know. Then they got the Denver Nuggets again. And then they got the Pacers. They were supposed to be good. They're not. Here we go. New York. In New York. They got this road trip, actually. No, not yet. This is still at home. New York, Minnesota, Chicago. Lucky for them, most of their games are at home for the rest of the season. So New York, Minnesota, Chicago. Then they got Denver. And then listen up, y'all. Listen up. They play at home in LA against Denver. And then they go on the road. They play in Houston. And then they play in Houston again. And then they play in Miami. And then they play in Orlando. Then they're taking a trip to Detroit, who smacked them by fucking 35 in LA. Then they play in Indiana. Then Brooklyn Nets. Then Washington Wizards. And then we're back at the Cavs. Then we're back against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then the Dallas Poopricks. And then the Oklahoma City Thunder. Golden State, Phoenix, and Utah. They needed to win in February. They needed wins in February. There's not going to be a whole lot of wins coming. There's not. Not with this defense. Not with this defense. They're the 5th worst defense in the NBA. They're going to be around 500, which is going to let them end into the play-in. We are going to see yet another year of the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors in the play-in. Now, it wouldn't surprise me that the Lakers cling to the 6th seed. Wouldn't surprise me. And that's because the Phoenix Suns just have unlimited injuries. So that doesn't really surprise me. But, you know, with the expectations that this team had to finish off a month on a 3-game losing streak, they're probably going to win tomorrow in Golden State. If they don't, then sound the fucking alarms. Okay? Sound the alarms. That's why the Los Angeles Lakers are my second loser of the month of February. I told you guys I could have picked the Heat. I could have picked the Magic. I could have picked a lot of different teams, but I wanted to stick with the people who actually had championship aspirations. Nobody had the Magic win it at all. Nobody had the Miami Heat win. I guess one person had the Miami Heat win it at all this year. One. And he's in my Twitch stream. I loved the interview last night when they asked Bam Adebayo how he feels that they're in the play-in. And I quote Bam. And Bam said as follows: "I'm so sick of that shit, man. Being in the play-in." End quote. Let's move on to my third loser of February. That's the Golden State Warriors. They went 4-5 without Curry. I think we can all agree this team is horrible. This team is not good, man. This team's just not good at basketball right now. They're not good. Their wins are against the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, the Grizzlies again, the Suns. That's it. That's it. They went 4-5 in the month of February. Yeah, they beat the Grizzlies twice, the Nuggets, and then the Phoenix Suns. So I don't know what more I can say. They lost to the Pelicans. They lost to the Celtics. They lost to the Spurs. They lost to the Lakers. That's saying something. And then they lost to the Philadelphia 76ers. And then on January 30th, they lost to the Pistons. So, yeah, man. Listen, their season ended when they lost Jimmy Butler. I think we can all agree on that. Their season ended when they lost Jimmy Butler. That's what happened. When Jimmy Butler went down, their season ended. And, you know, even without Curry right now, like, what would this have changed? They beat the Pelicans in that stretch. Their season ended when they lost Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler would have at least helped you convince that they could have won a playoff series. Now, I was preaching it that they should have traded Jimmy Butler, but the only player that you can really consider yourself trading for Jimmy Butler, there were a couple of them that contracts matched. It was Ja Morant, which you're not going to do. It was Tyler Hero, which you're not going to do. And then it was Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they didn't want to make the trade. And that's on the Bucks for not trading him. They could have easily traded Giannis to Golden State. They ultimately didn't. There were no good offers. So to say that they should have traded him, yes, we know they should have technically. This is a business, but what do you? His contract is huge. You can't just trade him for any player. And I would like to remind everybody, I believe in their last few games, the Golden State Warriors, I think, were like 13-1. So they were just now clicking, and then Jimmy Butler got hurt. So that's what happens. And yes, I know they should have traded Jimmy Butler, but his contract is so large, you have to meet another player that has that large of a contract. And the only option was really Giannis. They were in talks. They didn't do it. So when Jimmy Butler got hurt, their season ended, and they could have restarted their season had they traded Jimmy, but there were no good options. It was Giannis and nobody else. So the Golden State Warriors, I mean, again, they weren't going to win the championship with Jimmy Butler, but you could easily talk yourself into them winning a series just like they did last year. You know what I'm saying? And then they opted to trade Jonathan Kuminga. That was more so just because they hated Jonathan Kuminga than they loved Tingus Pingus. You know what I'm saying? So that's honestly, like, they just hated Kuminga that much to trade him for Tingus Pingus. Nobody wanted that. Nobody wanted that. TikTok, if you guys are enjoying today's stream, we are live on Twitch. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. I'd love to see you guys come through to the Twitch stream. It's a much better experience over here, much better community over here. And yeah, a lot of ball knowers over here. So if you guys do want to get involved in a basketball community, you can talk sports with, talk betting with, talk whatever it is with, or just make some friends. Be sure to join the Discord and my Twitch stream. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio, guys. I hope to see you come through. Now, I have an honorary mention. Money time. I love that question, bro. Come to the Twitch stream and get involved in the conversation. I can answer that after today's pod. I have an honorary mention, y'all. Okay? I have an honorary mention. I said I wouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it. Now, this team, according to technicalities, they are a loser. They are a loser. They're a loser. But according to me, they're not a loser because they won in the month of February. That is the Chicago Bulls, baby. That is the Chicago Bulls going perfect. 0 for 11 in the month of March. In fact, this is the worst month of February in Chicago Bulls franchise history. The Chicago Bulls went 0 and 11 this month. In fact, I want to read you off their losses because it's amazing. Last night they fell to the Portland Trailblazers 121-112. The game before they lost to the Charlotte Hornets 131-99. Game before that, they lost to the New York Knicks 105-99. They lost to the Pistons 126-110. They lost to the Raptors 110-101. They lost to the Celtics 124-105. They lost to the Brooklyn Nets. That's impressive. That's the most impressive loss on wow. 123-115. They lost to the Nuggets 136-120. They lost to the Raptors 123-107. They lost to the Milwaukee Bucks 131-115. And they lost to the Miami Heat. Now, this one's crazy. 134-91. And that's the month of February for the Chicago Bulls. Now, again, technically, they're losers. But in my mind, I love this for the Chicago Bulls. I love this. Call them the winners of February. Chicago. I've been waiting years for you guys to just leave purgatory. You guys are doing it, man. Y'all make me so proud. You waited too long, and well, you didn't get any first rounders for the players that you should have got first rounders for, aka Vucci Baby, Kobe White, Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan. I mean, bro, the list goes on. You should have gotten a plethora of first round picks, but you waited too long and you got a bunch of seconds. But we'll take what we can get, man. We will take what we can get. Second rounders, baby. Let's go. I would also like to give a special shout out to former Chicago Bull Taj Gibson. Shout out Taj Gibson for signing with the Grizzlies. In fact, I started cracking up when I saw this report. Underdog NBA, the gambling website, they tweeted, Grizzlies just got themselves a demon. And they posted highlights. And the very first clip, I see Richard Hamilton passing the ball to Taj Gibson while running the fast break with Jamal Crawford. This is 2011. This is the 2011 Eastern Conference Finals. And they said the Grizzlies just got... these clips are 15 years old. I'm watching Richard Hamilton pass the ball to Taj Gibson. I guess they just got a demon. So shout out to the Grizzlies. They got themselves a... wow. Yeah, that's just, can't make it up. Can't make it up. Ladies and gentlemen, let's end this podcast off with my stud of the night. There's a lot of options here. A lot of options. I could have picked Desmond Bane dropping 30 on an efficient night. I could have dropped Luka Doncic dropping 40 and just stat padding. I could have picked Kevin Durant dropping 40 in Orlando. I could have picked anybody. But ladies and gentlemen, I picked one man. And I don't think I'll be able to pick him again this season. Which is why I'm going with Saddiq Bey. Shout out to Saddiq Bey. He had an absolutely incredible night last night. I know it was against the Utah Jazz, but it came in a win, and wins come very rare for the New Orleans Pelicans. Saddiq Bey's lineup, his stat line was 34 minutes, and he dropped 42 points, 5 rebounds, 2 of them offensive, 7 assists. He was a +5 on the court, and he was 14 for 20 from the field, 5 for 9 from 3, and 9 for 9 from the free throw line. He had an efficient 87% true shooting percentage. So shout out to Saddiq Bey for being my stud of the night. Saddiq Bey, former Piston, I love you. I miss you. Please come back. I'm sick of Tobias Harris. Please come back. Good win. Good win for the Pels, and great win for Saddiq Bey being our stud of the night. I'd also like to give a special shout out to Con Knipple for becoming making the most threes by any rookie ever in an NBA season. I shouted out that it would happen yesterday in yesterday's show. But again, shout out to Con Knips, man. That's incredible. I love Con. I would like to say he's only winning this Rookie of the Year campaign because Cooper Flag has been out. I'm just saying I'm going Cooper Flag every day of the week, but he did it. He did it. In only 59 games, he has broken the record. He has broken the record. So shout out Con freaking Knips, man. I love to see it. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's going to do it for the week. All right. TikTok, YouTube, if you guys did enjoy today's show, as y'all know, we do this Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. If you guys want more show, then be sure to come into the Twitch stream. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio, ladies and gentlemen. I hope to catch you guys soon on Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. If you guys want more stream, then be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. The link is in my bio. I hope to see you guys come through. Yeah, that's all I got for y'all. All right, Twitch chat, stick around for sure. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, thank you for watching/listening. And I'll see you Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. If you want more stream, come to the Twitch. All right. Appreciate y'all, man.